So I just came from watching Moana 2, and in this video I'm just going to tell you why I think this movie is absolutely terrible. Now, if you enjoyed this film, that's okay, more power to you. But I think this movie is absolutely atrocious and it spits in the face of the first film. Now, before you go typing into the comments, I already know that this was supposed to be a series. It was supposed to be a TV show on Disney Plus. But regardless, the final outcome is so pathetic that I just had to make a video explaining why it is a pale shadow of the first film. It doesn't even deserve to be called Moana 2 sequel to the original Moana, because the first Moana did so many things correctly when it comes to the art of filmmaking and storytelling. And I'm not referring to songs or CGI. I'm simply referring to the story, the plot, how things are structured and characterization and things like that. So let's get into it. Why is this film such utter trash? Number one, Moana 2 is bad because it lacks themes. The first movie had such strong themes. You would need to be like a dum-dum not to understand the theme of the first film, which was supposed to be identity, forging who you are, coming into your own, being who you are regardless of where you've come from, being yourself unapologetically regardless of your background or what others tell you. Moana 2 has no strong themes. For example, in the first film, I really liked it when Maui was told by Moana that, hey, you are more than just your fishhook. And Maui was like, I'm nothing without my fishhook. You see, the film is very strong when it comes to themes of identifying who you are as a person, regardless of what other people are telling you, and finding yourself, your true self. In fact, even when in the first film, you see Moana grabbing the heart of Tafiti, and she says in the song that, I know who you are. She tells that lava monster, I know who you truly are, who you really are. I see you as you truly are. But in this second film, there are no strong themes, and it feels like such a pointless movie. Number two, Moana 2 is extremely one note. When I was watching the movie, it just felt like a bunch of stuff was happening on my screen. There's only two times that the film actually feels like it slows down to try and do an actual emotional moment. But the first one, I think, was when Moana was kind of sad, and then Maui tries to cheer her up. And then Maui just breaks into this annoying song, so the song just undercuts the emotional moment. And then number two is when, I don't want to give spoilers, but there's this moment underwater where something bad happens to Moana and Maui starts crying. Now that was the only moment that I actually felt something in the film. The rest of the film is mostly very happy, jovial, jokey, and it never feels like there's any real stakes. Unlike the first film, where, for example, Moana is told by the dad, hey, nobody ventures beyond the reef. And then Moana says, to hell with that. She grabs a boat and she tries to sail off. Then she ends up failing. She comes back, and her grandma tries to tell her about the people in the past, the tribe, they used to be voyagers, and then this inspires her. She tries again, then she succeeds. Or when she goes looking for Maui, and then she ends up getting trapped in a cave. The first film had like this up and down. Moana tries, she fails, she tries again, she succeeds. It was very good. But in this second film, it's very one note, which also I think is created by the fact that the pacing is also super fast. It's something that I think children will love, because it just moves at this mega fast speed where stuff is happening on your screen. Stuff is just happening on your screen. I think children will love it. If you're just looking for a popcorn film to watch and just eat while you just mindlessly stare at the screen, you'll enjoy this film. But for anyone looking for really good storytelling, Moana 2 just fails miserably at that. Number three, a lack of inner conflict. So inner conflict, in the first film, inner conflict was a huge thing in part of how characters grow as people. For example, Moana is told, nobody has ever gone beyond the reef. But Moana is like, something inside me, the ocean calls to me. I have to go despite what I'm being told. And just like I said, Maui is told, you're more than your fish hook, and he says, no, without my fish hook it's going to break. One more hit and I'm left with nothing. It was made by the gods. and once it breaks, it's done, and then he leaves, but then he comes back. You see, inner conflict. You kind of want to do it, but you have to go, but you keep coming back. That type of thing. It's what grows a character. It's like having to overcome their limitation. But in the second film, you have nothing of this nature. All you have are just quirky characters, dumb jokes, light moments where nothing feels like it matters, and just a bunch of stuff happening on your screen. I swear, in this film, I would say maybe the first 30-40 minutes were decent, but after that, as soon as they meet those coconut pirate people on sea, the film takes this nosedive in terms of just telling a good story, and it just becomes this childish hula baloo on your screen. And that's the other thing I should mention. Number 4, more doesn't mean change. Okay, more does not mean change. So the people who wrote this film, or the people who decided to create MOANA 2, they think that more of something means change. For example, what I mean by more is they introduce MOANA's little sister, and then they use her to be like this cute, quirky little girl, and then they try to do the whole anime thing with big eyes. That's how I knew this film was going to be utter crap, because once movie makers begin having these cute little characters that you kind of want to be like, oh, how adorable, that's part of emotional manipulation, of trying to make you like characters without giving them any real depth or good writing. And then MOANA teams up with these other characters, the gardener, the fanboy, this other girl, and they're like such one-dimensional characters. The people who wrote this film think that more characters means that, well, this is a sequel, we need to do more. That's not how sequels work. Let me give you an example of a good sequel. Shrek 2 is a good sequel. And you know why Shrek 2 is a good sequel? Because in Shrek 2, everything has changed. Shrek and Fiona used to be strangers in the first film, now they are married and in love. Dragon used to try and kill the main characters in the first film, now Dragon is married to Donkey. In the first film, you had Lord Farquaad. Lord Farquaad is not in the first film. Now you have someone who's more annoying in the form of Prince Charming and Fairy Godmother. Everything has changed. Character dynamics have changed. You need to put in characters that change the way things are working, but not just adding characters on top just to fill in time or to pad up the runtime or to puff up the cast. That's what I really hate about MOANA 2. And the last thing is that there's a difference between being childish versus being fun. MOANA 2 is childish. I knew it was childish as soon as I saw this one scene where the characters fall from somewhere and then they land, and then this fanboy character, he looks at his ass, and my entire theater were laughing, but I was like, that was so childish. The first film was fun. It had its quirky moments. It doesn't take itself seriously in some places. It knows when to joke, but when it's serious, it's serious. When it's sad, it's sad. When it has to do introspective moments, it does it well. That's when you know the film is fun. MOANA 2 does not know how to handle serious, deep moments. Even that moment where something bad happens to Moana, it gets resolved so quickly in such an odd way. I was like, what is this? And here's the thing, I know someone is going to say, oh, that doesn't matter, the film is going to make money. I don't care that the film is going to make money. I think it's a shitty sequel. I think that it doesn't even deserve to be called MOANA, because the first MOANA had really good writing. This entire second film films like a rehash of the first movie. It's very cash grabby, it's very soulless. I hate it, and out of 10 I give it a 3. Because it spits on the original film. It's an insult to what the original film stood for. Those are just my thoughts and why I think MOANA 2 is absolute trash. If you've enjoyed this, make sure to smash like and subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the second film. And if you enjoyed it, it's okay. I just think it's a popcorn film with no soul that is there to entertain children. Okay? I'll see you in the next one.